Hey, I'm Todd. I lead the marketing at Snowball. In the first video, I explained the principle of blending the best of AI with the best of human stories and the 6 strategies we use right now to apply that principle. And now I'm going to show you 2 more things. One, some of the marketing frameworks that are out there, and 2, I'm going to highlight the marketing framework that I use as the scaffolding for our strategies. Next time, I'll show you where in that framework we actually get started and why. So let's jump in. First, let's talk marketing frameworks or types of funnels. Choosing a marketing framework it's like picking a map or the scaffolding for your journey. It provides structure, it helps to clarify, it helps you to visualize your plan and wrap your efforts around that. There's a ton of frameworks out there. Each one has its own strengths, its own weaknesses, and let's just explore a few of the popular ones. First, you have the traditional funnel. This is the classic. It's a really straightforward approach. It's basically an upside down triangle, right? Where you start broad at the top and you narrow down to a point. Actually, most other models borrow elements from this model, and its concepts have really penetrated the entire marketing world, partly because it's just been around for so long, and then also it's really straightforward, so a lot of that resonates. The stages are basically this, starting at the top: awareness, make potential customers aware of your brand. Then it goes down to interest, sparking interest and desire into your product or service. And then finally, a decision, encouraging a purchasing decision. And then action. That's where they actually decide to go with you. And there's some pros and cons to the traditional funnel. The pros: it's really simple. It's easy to understand. And also it aligns naturally with how many organizations naturally think right now about marketing. So communicating this is going to be really easy. Some of the cons: it doesn't address the post-purchase stages. It has a limited focus or none at all on the customer retention and advocacy pieces. So basically it oversimplifies the customer journey. Then there's the bow tie model. And this is basically the evolution of the funnel, extending it and then flipping it on its side. And it's really popular right now in marketing circles as it tries to be a more comprehensive view of the customer journey. This model really emphasizes the equal effort on both sides of the purchasing decision. On this half, you have the pre-sale where you attract, nurture, and convert and engage. And then you have your sale where there's actually a feedback loop there. And then on the other side, the post-sale, you have adopt, loyalty, and they become an advocate and an ambassador. Some of the pros are this highlights the need for kind of a balanced approach across the customer journey. That's why this is so popular. It also really stresses the importance of the post-sale activities. Also, this communicates how people just don't naturally flow from one stage, aided by gravity, from one stage to the other. Instead, effort is required as they move along. Some of the cons: it can be really challenging to communicate and implement. It gets really complicated really fast. Also, it's kind of linear, implying kind of a straight path, which isn't really realistic. Most customer journeys are really a windy path through each of these stages. So now let's look at the last framework example. You have the flywheel model. And this is great because it puts the center of that flywheel as the customer, emphasizing this continuous engagement. Also, it highlights how success in one will just build on the other and impact the effectiveness of the entire process. Both of these are really legitimate reasons for this to be a really common and popular model for marketing teams right now. But let's take a closer look. The stages around the customer are you attract strangers, so you draw them into your brand, and then you engage those prospects. You do this by building a relationship and providing value, and then you delight these customers. So you're sure that your customers have a really good experience, so it leads to advocacy. So what are the pros? Customer-centric approach, emphasizing the engagement and the retention pieces. What about the cons? A lot of people think it's pretty abstract, and so it's hard to communicate and hard to implement. Plus, it can be less intuitive because it's not linear, and a lot of people think in timelines. They think from A to B to C. So I've been tempted to use the flywheel as Snowball because it pairs so well with our brand. But not just that, within our platform, we help companies basically get more customers, get these referrals and reviews and video testimonials, leading to more customers, and then that cycle continues. Even though this fits so nicely into a lot of our messaging, it's not the general marketing framework that I've chosen to wrap our strategies around, and I'll get to that here in a second. So each of these marketing frameworks have their strengths and their weaknesses. Personally, I favor a model that's a nice balance between simplicity and comprehensiveness. So that leads to, what do we use at Snowball? I've cherry-picked out parts that I like from each and gone with the Hourglass approach. It's really popular in the marketing world because it acknowledges that the journey doesn't end at purchase, but instead it extends to turning customers into advocates, which is really crucial for sustainable growth. The Hourglass framework breaks down the customer journey into distinct phases, a lot like the other ones do. Notice that each stage, as I go through these, they rhyme. This isn't just my attempt to be cute and clever, but it's actually a mnemonic device that helps people remember the purpose of each one of these stages. So let's take a look. All right, so starting at the top, aware. At this stage, we make people aware of our brand and what we have to offer. Then we move them to the care. This is where prospects engage with our content and they start to care what we have to say, and they consider us a thought leader. Next, the compare. This is where potential customers are now considering our platform and comparing it seriously with others. And then you get down to the heart of it, the sign right there. This is the critical point where prospects make a purchase and become customers. So basically the relationship is consummated, you could say. Then after that, wear. This is customers who are satisfied with their purchase. They start to wear our brand proudly. It could be swag. It could be badges on their website from our platform. We'll give them these reputation enhancing badges so they start to wear our brand. And then finally, you have share. So happy customers intentionally spread the good news about Snowball and engage with our content on social media. Essentially, they start helping that top of the funnel again. And most importantly, they bring us quality referrals. So although this Hourglass framework works for us, just select a model that works for you. Then use it as the scaffolding to hang your strategies around. This will help bring structure to your ideas, improve communication throughout your org, and just aid in getting your team onto the same page. However, it's not just about picking a model. It's about how you execute while using that model, which brings us to the next video. This is where I show you the order of operations in this Hourglass model. And this order is key, especially the starting point. This is really critical, especially when resources are tight, because if you mess this up, you're going to waste a ton of time and a ton of money on going after impressions and vanity metrics that don't actually drive revenue. Basically, you'll do a ton of work without making real progress, and it's just going to drive you crazy. So catch me next time so you don't go crazy. That's it. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.